I think diversifying your exposure to ideas is a really valuable thing that you can do to just make you a more interesting and overall, you know, positive person. So how do you expose yourself to a lot of different ideas? Well, one way you can do it is you can just get a library card, go to your nearest bookstore, and just peruse, look around for all these different topics, all these different ideas, rather than just sticking to what you originally find attractive. So for me, if I go to like a bookstore, it's like I'll spend some time in the psychology section, I'll go to the business section, there's the comedy section, there's the fiction section. It's just this wealth of ideas and perspectives that make me more interesting, I think, as a person because I'm exposed to them. Now, in other ways, you can actually, expose yourself to different cultures because generally, like if you go to a different, city or country is probably a better example for this, you're going to have a little bit of a culture shock. There's going to be a different way of moving and interacting. Like when I went to Greece, it's like one thing that, a lot of the young people would do, actually the old people would do it too, is they'd sit around at coffee shops for just long extended periods of the day and just talk about whatever. It was just a lot more socially close-knit. And that's a little bit of a shock compared to us here where it's just like it's very individualistic and you have your career and you have a little bit of time to socialize way at night and stuff like that. So when you expose yourself to different ideas, whether that's intellectual pursuits, whether that's just how people behave in different environments, you become more eclectic as an individual. You become more interesting because you have more to draw from. And I know I talked about this in terms of like humor and things like that. If you want to get more humorous, expose yourself to different humoristic perspectives. But when you expose yourself to different ideas, you build a little bit more of a foundation. You build like a construction of just this universe that's going on internally that you can then replicate outwards to somebody else. You're more likely to build better network connections, more business connections, if you can talk about that thing that you did in South Africa on the safari expedition, because that CEO also did that a year ago. But you never would have been exposed to that if you didn't have this mindset of, okay, I'm going to go into life with the expectation of absorbing as many different perspectives and ideas as possible. I'm a firm believer that what you put into your mind matters, just like what you put into your mouth in terms of food. Like if you're consuming good information, if you're consuming a variety of ideas and topics, that will then manifest itself in your communication as a lot better than if you're just consuming lowbrow social media, just pop culture type stuff. If you increase the relevance and the benefits of, good information, you're more likely to then regurgitate, or just speak out better information. And you're more likely to make better connections with people because you're well-read, you have different ideas, your mind works better because there's more lateral thinking between ideas because you have so many up there, you have this corpus of knowledge. So exposing yourself to different ideas is really good. Even if you want to like invent something or start a business or whatever, just having more knowledge to draw from, more experiences to, to help you determine your next actionable step, it's just so much more beneficial. So I guess the key takeaway from this video is to just expose yourself to different ideas. Get out there and try new things. Even if you like your life as it is now, and again, this is totally up to you, but even if you like your life as it is now, you can always challenge yourself to try new things, to expose yourself to different ideas, to be a part of different cultures, to meet new people, to go to the new venues and stuff like that and see what's different about it. Because it'll just add to your experience of life and you'll become a much more interesting person in the process. And I think other people can pick up off of that. And then you're just going to make better connections, I think, overall. At least that's what's happened for me. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.